Good evening. We'll try again. Take 5.
Yep.
Ash and Matt from CVR, Cerberus Virtual Racing. As you can see, we've got some new styles going on the screen. I think I've got my head around Streamlabs now. So, yes, a little bit different. So, yeah, we've not done these for a while. So, the last commentary that we did was round 3, I believe.
2.
2. Round
Yeah,
2.
we've done Zamball and Paul Ricard.
Yes. So round 2 was the reverse grid, which hosted some interesting results. Favoured by some, not favoured by all. I actually quite enjoyed the reverse grid. I thought it chucked us a bit of uncertainty in that we was
Character
trying.
building.
Yeah, and it was something that we tried to create in Series 1 with Ballast. Unfortunately, ACC's ballast and the server ballast don't work particularly great. It didn't seem to affect you, Todd, and the other top runners very much, and unfortunately affected the mid pack horrendously bad. So I don't know whether it was just broken higher up or what. I don't know. So yeah, that was the first reverse grid, and then we've got another reverse grid coming up at Snetterton for round 8. So 2 more races. That was right. Interesting. You broke your mic. I think Matt's just having technical difficulties with his mic. Stand by. You fixed it? Still broke? Oh no, we've lost Matt. In the meantime, this is race 6. So for those that are not part of the Discord should be popping up at the bottom of the screen. It should flick through the sequence quite well. So if you fancy joining, jump on board. We've got a coach now, which is Matt. I'm sure once he gets his microphone fixed and he comes back talking again, he'll be able to fill you in on all the good bits and pieces that he can do. We've got some.
God's sake, this headset.
Yeah, you give me a slight heart attack. To be fair, when it happened, I
I unplugged it from the charger, and
right.
it decides to have a bit of a hissy on me. So anyway,
Well, in the meantime, then, if you want to tell them a bit about what your role is within Cerberus.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Matt. I'm not only a racer within CVR. I do driver coaching. So through Patreon, we have a driver coaching section where I'll do 1v1s for hour and a half, depending on what the trainee would like. And then also I do hot laps to help, especially rookies, navigate their way through tracks, certain corners and conditions.
So with the hot laps, it's going to be a new thing from Cerberus, especially going forward. So the affiliate link to Matt's Twitch, and there should be Paul's and a few others, should be on my main page. So the plan going forward is Matt will go out and do the hot laps. At the minute, he's just been busy with the series coaching, but it's going to be something going forward that I'm sure you're going to be looking at. You're just a bit inundated with stuff at the minute, aren't you, Matt?
Well, we're trying to sort these overlays and stuff out for Twitch. So once they're bang on the money, then we can crack on with those. I've got a few laps sat there. I just need to edit them.
Yeah, I think the good bit about what Matt brings is, well, certainly to some of the other rookie racers and rookie drivers, you bring in, their racecrafting, their lines in and braking points, and you sort of like take them real back to starting the game, really, don't you?
Yeah. It's also about getting the confidence up as well. Sometimes they only see the negatives where you're trying to bring out the positives, and then that then boosts their confidence when it comes to sorting out the negatives.
Yeah, so I think going forward, the hot laps will be a great thing. We've also got Nick, who's one of the CVR members. He's a native German speaker. So I think we're gonna, once Matt does the hot laps, he'll be then doing a German overlay. So we should be able to get it out to a good wide variety of people then.
Yep.
The plan is we'll try and keep on top of the commentary and stuff going forward. We did really well at one point, but then we've just had holidays and bits and pieces, excuses, insert here. So we'll try and keep on top of that. But yeah,
It's a learning curve for all of us.
we've got some good bits and pieces planned upcoming for Cerberus. So we've got a 2 hour at Donington, and a 4 hour at Spa. So I'll get you the dates for them. Just bear with me. What did you think of yesterday's race while I'm looking at this, Matt?
To be honest, I think as quite a few of the guys found out, especially during practice throughout the week, Indianapolis, although it's a really good technical track, it is one of those surfaces that's very slippy and very reliant on traction. So, as most of us found out, it was virtually impossible without losing too much time to do it on one set of tyres. So, it threw all strategy up in the air. Everyone ended up having to watch out where they were on the track and concentrate on themselves rather than battling with other cars, because it was a tough one, really tough one.
We was quite fortunate with the weather, I think.
Yes.
Because looking at the weather, I mean, if you've not took part in any of our races and you're thinking of doing it, we do a time on Friday, so it's a random time wheel where it'll give us a time that we'll look at, and then we go off the real world weather, so it could be anything, and then we try and emulate it as good as we can.
Yeah,
With
as you can't do it too well with the ACC, you've got to do it to the best of your abilities, and it's all about the randomness, and it's not always easy to get it spot on.
However, I think we've had it a few. We've certainly got better with it.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
so yesterday said it was going to be a 20% chance of rain, and I was dreading it. I'm not going to lie. The first race for me in VR, and when we spun the wheel, it ended up at 11 o'clock at night. So I thought, do I really want to be doing this in VR in the rain and in the dark? And
Oh
with
yeah,
it,
you put the spotlight on yourself, that's for sure.
with
You
it
did.
being 27 degrees outside as well, it's safe to say I felt like I'd got a face hugger attached to my head the entire race.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, so for those that are interested, we've got the 2 hour race at Donington on July the 1st, the coming Saturday. That starts at 4 p.m. And then we've got the 4 hour endurance event at Spa. That's on July the 16th, again at 4 p.m. So that's the Sunday. So that'll be when the Series 2 comes to an end. So a bit of an icebreaker before we start Series
Ooh.
3. It is teams, but you also can race for 4 hours on your own if you want, if you're crazy enough. I think I've actually signed up for 4 hours on my own at this minute.
If you can afford to lose that much weight in 4 hours.
I was just going to say, I don't know whether I'll be wearing the
Ooh,
headset for 4 hours straight. That might be a bit brutal.
ooh.
Are you taking part on Saturday? Are you around at 4, or are you working?
No, I work Saturday, so I'll be around for the Sunday one. The
Awesome.
Saturday one's just too early for me.
So, shall we get to it?
Yes, let's.
Right, hopefully, I'll do a transition. Are you ready?
Yes.
Boom! Look at that. Right, we're on. Right, so we'll try and time this to perfection, Matt.
Oh, I.
See if we can get this synced. So
Oh, Jesus.
before we do, we've got a few less races this week. Couple of holidays, couple of people working. Eric sold his sim gear because he's doing a upgrade. So from our usual sort of 26 to 28 grid, we're down to 18.
Yep.
And then by the end of it, I think we finished on
14.
14. Yeah, there's certainly a few people didn't finish the race for whatever reason, whether they didn't like Indianapolis or just overall had a bad race. Not that I had a particularly great overall race.
Yeah. But
Um,
to get points, you got to finish, and you get points all the way through. So if you want the points, you'll just get on with it.
yeah, I tell you what, the top tier, sort of first to fifth, was really close from what I could see through my fogged up VR lenses.
Okay.
But yeah, so let's try and sync this. So, are you ready?
I'm ready. Give it a countdown, and then it'll go and go when you go.
All right, so we'll go 3, 2, 1, go.
Awesome.
So,
So you'll notice there's a couple of people who've changed cars. You've got Chris, who's now in a Mercedes, and you've got Penguin, who's now in a McLaren.
we've got Martin starting from the exceptionally long pit straight.
Yep. So that's digging yourself a hole before you've even started.
It was one of the first weeks I actually managed to get through the pits without getting any form of penalty.
Yeah, I did practice it in practice a few times just to make sure.
I went with a full fuel complement bar, 1 or 2 litres, I think. A slight bit of rowdy there, but to be honest, overall, it was one of the cleanest races I think we've had.
Yeah, definitely the shortest stewarded session. I like the camera angles.
So from what happens every end of every race is we do a live stewarding, just goes through the bits and pieces. So we're going to be riding on board with, I would say it's going to be Tony.
Yep. Mr. Pomegranate himself.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, that because of the nature of the track, it was very difficult to actually find yourself in a battle with someone because it was that you were that busy trying to keep the car on the road that you didn't want to be near anyone. But there's a couple of battles. I was kept busy for a while by Mr. Penguin.
Yeah, I mean you were forever switching the top lap record. So it's Paul hunting down cuts. Nice little overtake there.
Yeah, without contact.
Only Beamer on.
I know. Never mind.
Only Beamer on grid as well.
Oh yeah. Eric's favourite car, that the Beamer.
Actually, this is another car. I tell you what, the good thing about the night, look at the exhaust.
Yeah,
I love that shot, and I love the brakes as well.
I like the Porsche's exhaust. If you look at that from behind, when the whole cat glows, look.
Oh, nice.
You get to see all the endurance lighting as well. Oh, Paul again.
On Schmee.
All that LFM practice is doing him the world of good.
To be fair though, the Beamer in a straight line in a minute is quick.
No, it's a pain in the backside.
Oh, just overshoots it slightly there. I think he got a bit too focused on keeping past Schmee.
Yep.
One of the rookies. In fact, yeah, P-Dubs has obviously got a lot quicker with your coaching.
one of the trainees, and there's a Ferrari just disappeared off the track there. Is he back on? Yeah, he must be. I think he's just come out behind there. Loving the glow on them exhausts.
One of the best graphics, I think. ACC.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I like you see the glow on the inside as well.
Well, I must admit, in VR, when you went down the start straight, if you caught it just right, the flag changed on the start-finish line, and it gave like a blue neon glow.
Oh, right. I think these two were at it for the whole race.
Yeah, well, I was behind them. I mean, I'm massively down the list at the minute, having suffered 2 punctures and God knows how many more bits and pieces.
There's Tony getting past Hans.
Yeah, well, they had some really good battles, these two.
Yeah.
Tony's running his new Moses setup as well.
Ah, that might be a reason why he struggled a bit at some points. Oh, Hans with the little dinky headbutt there.
Martin, who'd been out on the day session all day, actually drove better drunk.
Until one point in the race where you'll see that his bonnet was like folded up foil.
I must admit though, I weren't catching him. Either the Merc is exceptionally fast here, or Martin needs to drink and drive more on the game. Not in real life, just to clarify. Not in real life, on the game.
I'm so glad you rectified that. Oh, here they are again. Terrible twosome. Who's that behind them?
It's Holland, isn't it? Yeah.
He did a lot better this week. He struggled like mad in Valencia, but he really did well this week.
Hans been quite reserved there.
I thought they were going to park it then.
Is that Hans's new custom livery that he's got there? That's.
I haven't downloaded him this week.
Ah, right. He's running some sort of Battle of Britain.
I noticed that on the stewarding yesterday. Like I haven't got columns neither.
So Mooney is on a controller, is that right?
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, fair play to him. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Done bloody well with the controller then.
Is that were you just in the background there, isn't it?
Yeah. It was weird because there were so many different strategies going on. You didn't know where you were until the last 5-10 laps.
Yeah, I mean, I tried to hang out as the plan I'd got was going splash and dash, which was working really well up until I got the 2 punctures, and I tried hanging on for dear life until I got to 25.4 pressures, and it was just costing me loads of time. So it didn't pay off for me at all.
It's weird, this track. You wouldn't think it was that harsh on the tyres, but it turned out it's probably the worst we've had for tyres.
Yeah, what was the other track that I got puncture? Was it Paul Ricard? I think that's the only one that's been as harsh as this. So Hans...
Zandvoort it was. Zandvoort, because I got it as well.
Yeah. So
Hans with the stop and go.
Yeah, so he got the stop and go on the exit of the pits, and then ended up putting it into the wall. And as you can see there, we've already lost 4 drivers.
I think what it is around here, it's very confusing because you think the runoffs lead you back onto the track, but they don't. They lead you straight into a tyre wall to stop you cutting the track. And I think there was a couple of people who fell foul to thinking, oh, the runoff will take you back, but it doesn't. The tyre wall just brings you back onto the grass, and it killed a couple of people off in this race, unfortunately. Oh, hello. He's finished.
I mean, the highlights don't really show it to the full extent because there was some nice exchanges between you and Penguin. I think Penguin took the...
Yeah, he was on a different strategy, so he took the lead from the beginning, and I stalked him for about 16, 17 laps, and then he pitted, and then I just tried to carry on with my strategy, and then my tyres just went off a cliff. and then I came out just in front of him, and we carried on. Ding dong.
I'll
But yeah,
put that back onto the chatting screen.
but yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing you go into the pits, and I thought, because I remember coming past, and then I saw the 717, which is Penguin's number on the track, on the
Mhm.
track map, and I thought this is going to be close. This, because you'd not exited the pits at this point, and it just started coming down the straight as
Mm.
you started to move, and I thought this is going to be really close.
Well,
Um,
my plan was I started with 75 litres, and I planned to run as far as possible, and then do my normal thing, splash and dash, without changing tyres.
yeah,
But it got to the point where I got to about 25 laps, 26 laps, and I came out of the 90-degree left off the back straight, and the car just went. I ended up on the grass, just missed the barrier, and then I came in that lap, and that time I lost there as I'm coming out of the pits. Penguin's going into turn one, and because the pits comes out on the inside of turn one, I managed to just squirt the throttle into turn two, and I came out about 7/10 ahead of him. So it was close.
yeah, and
Really.
then he had a really good stint of taking the laps off you, didn't he?
Yeah.
Because he sort of took the top laps for the next couple of laps of the race, and then you really put the pressure back on him by
Yeah.
um, putting the
Well,
foot down, didn't you?
it was better to ease the tyres in because the Lambo's not the best at turning the tyres on straight away. I think like the BMW and the AMG are best for that. The Lambo takes 2 or 3 laps, a bit like the McLaren. So I just let them settle in a little bit, got the pressures up, and then I noticed he was a bit squirrely out of corner, so he was pushing. So I thought, right, let's build a bit of a gap here. And then, yeah, I think because of the fresh tyres, it worked in my favour. But yeah, it was a difficult one. Strategy turned upside down completely.
Well, it was a bizarre track though because like I felt like my tires had really dropped off, and had got really bad, and then like you, I got a bit more grip, and then all
Hmm.
of a sudden I were back to having no grip
Yeah,
again. And I don't know whether it's just the Ferrari in general at the minute or what, but the feel of it at some points is just terrific.
it's. I think the Ferrari's like the new McLaren in the aspect of if you get the tyre out of the window where you're comfortable, it then feels undrivable, and it's virtually impossible to get the car back in that window again. And
Yeah.
that's when it's like you feel like you're banging your head against a wall. It just doesn't work. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
I
I
think I'm
don't
going to
know.
stick with it for the rest of this series, and then whether or not I stick with it for the next series or whatnot, I don't know. We'll see what happens with it.
You can tell Indianapolis was a tyre killer because I'd managed to do every other race. We've done the hour long one mandatory stop on one set of tyres, and at Indianapolis, I know I had 2.2 remaining on my tyres, but honestly, feeling what I was feeling from the wheel, it went really light, and the rear end was just not in sync with the rest of the car, so I just had to pit. Like
Well,
so,
just looking at the results now, there's been a little bit of a shift in the sort of top 10. So, Matt, you're first. Then
yes,
it's Michael because he did not start race 5. He had some issues with his internet, didn't he? His internet that went down.
he had a power cut
Yeah.
after
So
quali.
so it's 613 points for you, 572 for Michael. Then we've got 536 points, which is Tedder. 457, which is Biles. Aric's pretty much writ off now.
Yeah, Eric's done for
Um,
the rest of the season, and Byler won't be there for Zolder because he's at 24 hours Spa.
yeah, so fourth and fifth is Aric. Dudley's now quit the championship, so his
Yeah,
sixth place goes to Smee.
he's had a good
Seventh,
season, Smee.
yeah. So then we've got seventh, which is P Dubs.
Yeah,
So he's massively improved. Then it's me. which, considering I've not raced 2 races at race 4 and 5 due to being on holiday, then it's Ethan. So yeah, it's all to play for. I mean, we've had a few switches and swaps and changes within the driver standings. People have come and gone, which is a
Yep.
shame. Some
Yep.
have not been able to race because of work or holidays and stuff like that. It's just one of them unfortunate things with the time of the year and the weather. Weather's quite nice here at the UK at the minute, so there's a lot of
Yep.
beer gardens and whatnot going on, which we've got no issues with.
Plus, you've had
Um,
the likes of Glastonbury and all that
yeah,
over the last couple of weeks. So
so I think there's a lot being going on, and then we've got, hopefully we can draw people back in with the uh, stuff we've got planned for Series 3. So we've got some nice bits and pieces planned to
yep.
try and keep it a bit more entertaining. Whether we keep it at an hour racing is one of those things that we've been looking at. A lot of people like the 45-minute races.
Hmm.
So yeah, I mean, we've got a load of avenues that we're looking at. So
Yep.
hopefully we can sit down and go through it. But overall, uh, really good race yesterday. And like you said at the start, the stewarding session usually is anywhere for 15, 20 minutes plus, depending
Yep.
on what's gone off and bits and pieces. But yesterday, really short, hardly any sort of. In fact, I don't think there were any penalties. Oh no, there were one penalty imposed, but that
Yep.
was just one of them. Rest of them were all NFA'd. They were pretty much nothing, which is nice to see. A lot of people are taking it on board. Um,
I think the night race played into that as well.
yeah,
Everyone
and
was being a lot more cautious.
I think within the group as well, with a lot of people have now realised that while you can gain a position on lap one, you can also end your race on lap one. So a lot of
Yes.
people have become a bit more conservative, which is what we really wanted to see because we didn't want to start imposing sanctions for,
Yep.
like some groups are really heavy on lap one incidents.
Yep.
But we tried to get everyone on the same page, which yesterday was nice to see. There was hardly anybody that had any sort of minor comings together, so that was good.
Yeah. But good news for the stewards. We have Zolder coming up, and then another 30-minute first race and 30-minute reverse grid race at
uh,
Snetterton the week after. So yes, I'm sure we're more than make up for it.
I think, yeah, Snetterton's. I think that's going to be busy. That it's
A
a
bit.
really narrow track.
Yeah.
I'm hoping though we get some good races from it, and we get quite a few on the grid. Because if we can
Yeah.
get a 20 plus grid on Snetterton, that'll be epic. With
Imagine it was night race as well. I hope it doesn't rain that weekend. Jesus Christ.
and anything that's to play for at the minute.
Yeah, yeah. I thought I was out of the championship after my technical difficulties at Monza, but it just goes to show one race can turn things completely the other way around. And like we say, if you're going to start a race, just see it through to the end because you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, it was a little bit disheartening for me. Like I said, first race back in 3 weeks, first time on VR, so I'd got a lot of bits and pieces that we tried to set up. I did stream yesterday's VR session. However, at the end
The
of it,
ceiling.
yes, I was told that the stream looked awesome if I wanted to look at the headliner of the car. Um, so there wasn't really much for anyone to see racing wise. It was more the Ferrari's headliner. So
Yeah,
that hopefully will be sorted for the next race. I had a
and
little bit
then
of mess about.
there was my stream, which was like a silent movie.
Yeah, so we had some massive technical difficulties because both me and Matt decided to move to Streamlabs and not test it in any shape or form. So we sort of
Yeah.
tried to wing it and it didn't work.
Yeah, we
Uh,
wonged it instead.
yeah, I mean, I think I did 6 minutes worth of qualifying. I managed to put 2 laps of quali in because when I first logged in with VR, I was at a 20 degree angle. So I was sat straight in my seat and I was sort of skew with on the screen, which
Hmm.
really threw me out big time. So I had to come out and back in, come out and back in.
Yeah.
But now I've worked out how to start the VR and get it all fresh and sorted, and hopefully from now on, going forward, it should be one of them things where I can just turn on, put the headset on, straight in the game, no messing.
Yeah.
So yeah, fingers crossed. And then me and Matt are going to try and do a webcam collab for Series 3 going forward for the commentary and the streams. And obviously try and get the others on board again like we used to have. There were quite a few of us that did the commentary, Paul and whatnot as well. So hopefully going forward, the streaming for CVR should expand, hopefully.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
but yeah, if anybody's got any comments or ideas or things they want to see within the bits and pieces, we're more than happy to bring it in. If there's certain style of commentary, we'll try and do it.
Well, we're planning on, like, for season 3 as well, having not a script, but like bullet points to cover, and then it's just to be planned out a little bit more rather than just jumping into it and going, hey, blah 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 blah, and then highlights. Like
Yeah, I
certain
think
topic discussion.
yeah, and if there's there's any sort of topics that people would like to see within the next one, by all means drop us a comment. Going forward, we can go from there, and if there's anything that people want covering or want to see more of, if you don't want to see as much of the highlight reel and you'd prefer to see like a strip down of the real race, I mean it is an hour, so we can always do that. It
Yep.
would take a bit more commentary, but we can always factor that in. So yeah, we're open to see what people want to do, want to see. But yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed this commentary. Me and Matt have talked a lot of nonsense for a bit. Matt had technical issues where he's probably blown most people's eardrums out by this point as well,
Hopefully.
because he nearly blew my eardrum out. Um, so the next race then, there's 2 races this week. So we'll try and do 2 lots of commentary for it. So we've got the Saturday race. All being well, we get enough races for it because at the minute there's not that many signed up. So I'm hoping the grid fills up a little bit more. We've got 7 races across 3 tiers. So we've got bronze, gold, and silver. So the gold races at the minute, there's 3 drivers in gold, 2 in bronze, and 2 in silver. So hopefully by Friday we get a few more, um, but it may have to be a delay for that because I'd not really worked out when Spa was. So we could always have a look at just delaying it and putting it back a little bit if there's not much interest, and then obviously like yourself and others can jump on board and we try and flesh out the numbers a little bit more. But
Hmm.
certainly the 4 hours at Donington, I think, should be a good crack because we're going to use it as a bit of a tester for um, getting our team endurance back up and
Yes.
running.
Yes.
Because there's a few bits and pieces that we've got moving forward. I mean, we've done it with Wiz Motorsport. You also race for CVR in Wiz's Championship, don't you?
I do.
Where are you at the minute in the
Top,
league?
top of the championship.
Oh, look at that. It just rolls off your tongue there, doesn't it? It was beautiful. I mean, if you want to say it, just where did you finish? Sorry.
Where did I finish?
Yeah.
Oh no, it's not finished yet.
Oh, is it not?
There's like 4 weeks between each race.
Oh, it follows the proper SRO, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'll be a corpse by the time we come to the last round.
Well, I mean, hopefully I can get some more practice in and try and get my speed back. So if I stick on VR, I think I'm not far off. I'm probably about 1 or 2 seconds slower at the minute, just while I get my eyes dialed in. So yeah, I feel like when I take the headset off, it's what I probably imagine taking a bra off at the end of the day is like.
That's
Because
Pauline, no.
yeah, I mean, I've not found the point yet of too tight and not too tight because you've got to have it pretty cinched to your face. But there's been a few points where I've took it off my face and it's been like headache material. Like I feel like my eyebrows have been pummeled into the back of my head. So it's going to be something that's going to take a bit of getting used to. So hopefully by the end of this weekend's racing, I'll be a bit further forward with it. But yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed this. It's been a bit of a ad hoc wing and a prayer test of all the new bits and pieces. But
We'll
yeah,
get there.
we'll get there. So yeah, stay tuned and we'll see you at the weekend. So Ash and Matt from CVR signing out. Thanks for watching.